fun, SAAB fans. Check this out. That's what the sun did to my dash coating. The patch is still good. You can see it a little better now. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is sanding this whole thing down again. And not sure yet what I'm going to try on it, but the vinyl paint that I sprayed on it, UV killed it in no time. That was just, I think, maybe 3 months in the hot sun here in North Carolina. Some of the days I'm sure it got up to 120 in the car, and some places bubbled more than others, so I suspect that had to do with what was under it, obviously, to make it do that. But anyway, that's going to be a project coming up probably this winter. Something to do here in the garage. But the main event here are these rear sway bar mounts. Yeah, I think I finally got, I think I got it good. Oh, let me get on my creeper. There's the right hand. Oop. Get a little light on it. This one here, this nut here, because of where that brake line is, you're going to have to use either a universal or a wobble socket to get to that one. The other side is okay, you can get it with the regular socket and extension. There's no way to do that without compromising the base. I don't want to put a radius in there to fit a socket. There's just not enough support there, in my opinion, if I did that. So you can get it. You're just going to have to fit something up into where the cutback starts right here. From here down, you can fit a socket in here. Once you get here, and there's really, I mean, there's not much room there to get a ratchet. So I use a wobble on it with an extension, and I have no problem tightening it up. That fits good, and you guys saw the left hand already. That one fit good. So now the question is it level with it jacked up in the air on one side? I could probably put the other side on a jack stand the same height and set it as it hangs, but what I'm going to do is just measure from, if I can get under here, I'm going to measure from the bottom of the control arm down to the floor on this side, and then the same over here. And the difference in those two will be the difference in the height of the car, and the offset of that should be the difference between the distance of the bar, sway bar, to the floor on each side. So let me grab a tape measure. Let's see if I can't do this one-handed. Let me see if I can prop this camera up somehow. It's easier to do stuff out here with two hands. It'll work. Alright, let's see what we got. What do we got on this side? $23.5. So we got 23.5 on that side. Let me see what we got here. 15.5 to the center. All right. I'm never going to remember that. 23.5, 15.5. Okay. Let's look at this side. Nineteen. 23.5 from 19 is a difference of what? My brain is tired. 3.5. No, 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. And we have 15.5 over there on the bar, and here we have 13. So it should be 17.5 versus 15.5. So that side is... There is no way that is 2 inches higher. It was 15.5, right? Yeah, 15.5. This is going... Really, the only way to do this is set it on the ground. Then I can't get in here and measure anything because it's too low. So 15.5 versus 13, the variance of right height is 4.5. That was 19, right? I'm pretty sure these mounts are the same height. I've never measured them before, but they should be geometrically the same. 19, so 19, 23.5, 4.5. 13 plus 4.5 is 17.5, and I'm at 15, so I am actually 2 inches lower on the other side. I think that's because it's compressed. It is, because the other side is lifted. And what sucks is I can't measure from the frame down because the sway bar mounts aren't in the same place on the rail. This one's further back towards the back than the other one, which is further towards the front. And the frame right there actually has a scoop in it. It goes up at an angle. So I think I'm going to have to jack the other side up, put it on the same height jack stand, and then measure from here to the ground to make sure they're close. I mean, a 1/2 inch I don't think is really going to make that big of a difference, but I want to get it as perfect as possible since these are going to be solid mount. So let me go jack that side up and put it on a stand, and then we'll remeasure. Okay, I do believe that jack unfortunately is resting where it's a 1/2 inch higher. I can tell by the gap of the wheels. That side is lower a little bit. So let's see axle tube wise where it fits. Let's grab a little bit here. Hang on. Let's measure it at the shot. 13 in the middle of the tube. This one's probably going to be like 12.5. 12.5. Yep. This size is a 1/2 inch lower. So let's check the sway bar height. We have 15.5 at the bottom of the bar on this side. So if it's right, we should have 15 on this side. No, 15.5. No, 15.5, we should have 16. 16.25. It is a quarter high, which honestly, for this sway bar, it's close enough. I'm not mucking with these designs anymore. That little bit of a gap change could get affected by the bushing compression, the freaking end links. So, yeah, I'm good with that. I say that they're good to go. That side is almost direct pressure up, so that one will have the least amount of shear and torsion strength on it, strain on it. And this side is just a weird one. Oops. Stand up. This one's just in a weird place. You notice the bushing is on the opposite side. It's a cantilever mount setup. To try and direct it as straight up as possible. This bolt is only a few millimeters off straight line up to this mounting bolt right up there. So I think there's enough meat here and enough on the back to help prevent cracking. And honestly, that big slab of T6 probably will show signs of deformation right here, or on this side you'll see it bulge out, or you'll see a crack form if you start having a problem. But I honestly don't think that that's ever going to happen with this setup. But something to keep an eye on if you are racing your car. If this needs to come back, if I need to put more across here to help with the torsion, or actually shear and distraction, but if I go any further down here, like I said, you won't be able to get a socket on that, so that's potentially could be a problem. So I think this is a good first design. Even in plastic, I mean, it's solid as a rock. I could actually squish the bushing with the threading. Most likely I'll include some stainless 3/16 flange bolts for this that are at least 15 millimeter long, possibly 20, to give it plenty of bite in there so you don't have strip threads. That's the main thing with aluminum, especially T6, is it does have good tensile strength, but if you put too much force on not enough threads, it will pull them out. So, but easy to repair on these. If you do happen to pull the threads out, you can put either a helicoil in it, or my preference is the time certs. You can put an insert in there. And that's actually what I put in my Genesis Coupe sway bar bracket adapters for the sedan subframe. I put stainless helicoils in it and glued them in with thread Loctite. And repetitive removal and reinstallations with torque up to about, I think it was either 12 to 16 foot-pounds. No complaints, never had an issue with any of them backing out, or pulling out. Anyway, that's where we'll go with the sway bar mounts. I'm gonna start putting some information together on pricing for these. I'm gonna have to do a pre-order. If you're interested in getting a set of these, I can do just the mounts, left and right, and I can do them individually, but honestly, for geometry, it would be best to have them both installed at the same time. Don't leave a steel on one side and then put the fat aluminum on the other one. You'll just wear the other one out so much faster. Top plates, I can get those made. If you want to pull the trunk apart and pull the old steel retaining plate than the narrow ones. I've got some thicker aluminum ones I'm going to have cut, and I will have stainless bolts on them. So that's an option as well. And I have an order of Powerflex, I believe, Powerflex pink bushings coming in, and I'm going to design a cap out of T6 to fit these for the Powerflex poly bushings, and you'll be able to get those as well. But I have to finish that design up and wait for the bushings to get here, all that good stuff. But for the time being, the factory bushings will fit. It is a 60mm bolt offset. It is a very, very tight fit, so you may have to finagle some things to get the holes to line up. It's got to be just right for it to be, for them to actually go in straight. Next up, brake lines. I probably won't start those until I get this stuff squared away, and then I'm going to hop on the brake lines and start pulling those off. Stay tuned. The next video will be information on the kits for these, for the sway bar mounts. And I'm also looking at designing a sister bar clamp that will come with poly bushings to let you do a stepped bar from here around on the bottom. You would clamp one here, etc., etc. I know a lot of people buy sway bars from the junkyard. They'll cut the tail off and then they'll sister them together to give a little extra roll control. So once I have the poly bushing, then I'll be able to design that block and the retaining caps for these to mount to. It'll just be an aluminum block with the bushing caps, and you'll put a bushing on here, a bushing on the other one, and then bolt them together. That'll be it. And you can buy as many of those as you want. I may do a kit, probably 5 or 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then maybe one in the middle, or staggered 4, and then one on each side of the tail. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I'll get some information together. I'm posting it on the SAABcentral.com forum under 9000 workshop. There is a thread in there for the sway bar adapters. I think it's sway bar mounts again is the title of the thread. I'll be posting information in there as well if you want to follow it that way. That's it for now.